Are you tired of weight loss products filled with artificial ingredients and empty promises? Discover the power of nature with Pure Revive, the ultimate solution for healthy weight loss. Check out the link in the video description now to start your journey with Pure Revive.
Republican elected officials in a small Arizona county talked with state lawmakers and activists about hand-counting ballots there in 2022 and urged their counterparts in other counties to push for hand counts as well, newly released public records show. The records from Cochise County, a Republican stronghold along the U.S.-Mexico border, only came to light after a lawsuit from a watchdog group, American Oversight, and took well over a year to be released. The original records request from American Oversight was filed in November 2022. They show how Tom Crosby and Peggy Judd, two of the three-member Board of Supervisors, were both advocating for hand-counting ballots as election denialism and skepticism gripped the county. The two supervisors also delayed certification of the county's election results in 2022, which resulted in criminal charges in a case that is still ongoing. The records also show that there was confusion among constituents, and at times the supervisors themselves, over what the plan was and how it could be executed, especially as courts issued rulings. It appeared from records that earlier in the process, both supervisors were doubtful a hand count could happen, especially so close to an election, but once the idea gained momentum on the right and got national attention, they kept pushing. Experts warn that hand-counting ballots is often more costly, less accurate and more time-consuming than machine tabulation. Fears over machines rely on false claims that votes were injected into counts or systems were otherwise hacked. A push for hand counts across the country could serve as another basis to undermine election results this year. They will not stop, Chioma Chukwu, interim executive director of American Oversight, told U.S. News. They're going to continue until they get what they want, which is pushing for hand counts, delaying the certification of election results if the election does not go their way in November. Already, one supervisor from Mojave County, another Republican-led area, sued to contest the idea hand counts are not allowed, and state lawmakers who were actively calling for hand counts in the midterms are still in office. In Arizona, several state lawmakers contacted Judd to help advance or praise the hand count idea, with one offering legal advice from legislative lawyers on the ability to conduct a full hand count and another claiming no state laws would impede them. The courts disagreed, a lawsuit stopped a full hand count from proceeding, and the supervisors lost the case again on appeal. This demonstrates what we suspected, which is that there was a lot of influence and coordination from the Arizona state legislature, putting pressure on and supporting counties that were willing to push for these full hand counts in order to further their goals, Chukwu said. For Crosby, doubts over tabulation machines played into his desire for a hand count, records show. He brought up a local ballot problem from 2012 caused by human error which he believes was not properly remedied, saying he was 10 years ahead of today's election integrity proponents. He said he was personally inclined to think voting machines probably can be hacked. He also regularly corresponded with activists who claimed tabulation machines were not properly certified, a claim the state had repeatedly debunked. The records also show where Crosby gets some of his information. When someone shared an article from the right-wing news site Gateway Pundit, he wrote back that he watched Gateway Pundit too. When a reporter from the Epoch Times, a far-right outlet, sought comment, he said, "I respect Epoch Times." When constituents contacted Crosby to oppose the hand count, he frequently asked them for their definition of democracy. "I say, majority rule," he wrote back. When one person sent an email detailing their opposition, he replied, "You should be aware that whoever loses will cry foul. You might be on the other side of the table next election." Crosby declined to respond to questions from U.S. News unless his entire responses were printed in full, noting that no news people have agreed to that yet. For Judd, her interest was in part a reaction to constituents and a hope that a hand count could assuage election doubts. At times, she defended the county's elections and said she didn't believe there were problems. When people emailed her to oppose the hand count, she replaced